Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Ventura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. On today's show, we are welcoming Ventura County Fire Captain Brian McGrath. He is going to talk more today about fire safety in and around your home. Thank you so much, Brian, for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate being able to speak on these topics.
Very good. This is really important for many of us to learn about fire safety in and around our homes. So I'd like you to start with fire safety in the kitchen. And let's talk about when you're cooking and fire safety in and around your stove and your oven, that kind of thing.
Of course. And first and foremost, whenever you're cooking, please pay attention to what you're cooking. Don't leave the room. Don't let something distract you. And certainly if you have little ones, make sure they're aware of the safety and to stay away from those hot surfaces. And where some safety stuff might be. If you happen to have a fire that starts or when you're cooking, remain calm. And if you have a lid, if it's something that's contained inside the pot, you can get a well-fitted lid to go right over the top of it. Right. If it has spread, so if you're cooking with oil, you don't want to use water because that water will evaporate once it hits that boiling oil, and that will cause the oil to overflow and once that oil touches the flame, it will catch on fire and kind of explode like a fireball. Try to remain calm. If you have an extinguisher handy, use that extinguisher in the area. Don't use other cooking stuff like flour. Flour, surprisingly, actually is flammable, and when you throw it on something and it's in a dust form, that will catch fire as well.
Okay, so it is good to keep a fire extinguisher near your cooking area or somewhere in the kitchen so you can grab it quickly.
Either in the kitchen or like right outside the kitchen is really good too.
Okay.
Because if a fire does start and you keep it right next to the stove, you may not be able to grab it because it's going to be too hot.
Sure.
So maybe right outside in the garage, somewhere that's easily accessible.
And it's also good when you're cooking. I know many of us are so busy all the time, but watch your sleeves because your sleeve could catch, when you're over the stove. So that's another important point too.
And even if it doesn't catch fire, if you're cooking with something hot, boiling water, and you get it on that sleeve and you pick your sleeve up, now you're going to put that boiling substance down your arm.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. And the same goes for even small appliances like a toaster oven. You should really be hands-on and pay attention when you're cooking, even with something like that too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because you never know quite what would happen. How old is that appliance? What's around it?
Okay.
Make sure you don't have your napkins or paper towels or just a regular towel sitting on it while you're cooking. So many odd things can happen. We really want you in that kitchen area paying attention to what you're cooking with.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about in the summertime, many of us use a grill. We go outside, we use our outdoor grill. Here in California, we use it sometimes year round. So what are some of the safety tips when grilling outside?
We'll start with your placement of your grill. Make sure it's not around anything that's going to be flammable. So if an accident does happen, it's not going to spread to anything else around you. Of course, ideal location out in the middle of a concrete area, but it's not always that way. So just make sure of the surroundings you are and kind of plan for the worst. Like you said, we cook every day on the barbecue. Usually our wonderful Southern California weather, we're able to be outdoors and doing that, but make sure you pay attention. Something that's also very relevant in SoCal, barbecuing and swimming. So if you have little ones that are swimming and it's your responsibility to watch them while swimming, do not be barbecuing and grilling and cooking. Keep your attention on the kiddos. And don't get distracted. Also, while grilling, make sure you've got an area to put your tools and everything so things stay clean and the food is covered, so that way no critters or it's anything can happen to your food too.
Very good. Many of us also have a fire pit outside. So a lot of people like to have a fire pit in the evening. They like to sit around. Are there any safety measures for that as well?
For sure. That you are allowed to have an open warming fire for entertainment, but you want to make sure you're a proper distance away from the building
Okay.
It's not too big. You're only burning clean, natural material.
Hmm.
So wood is always what's going to be in there. You don't want to use construction supplies, things like plywood, because those have glues.
Okay.
And you want to keep that fire small and under control, as well as making sure you have a extinguishment source for you.
Good.
And of course, at the end of the evening, make sure it's out.
Okay. Very important. Very important. And the same goes for using your fireplace inside as well. Many people like to use a fireplace during the winter months. What are some of the safety tips for that as well?
Make sure that it's clean.
Good idea.
It's those fire
Okay.
pits are not, or the fireplaces, they need to be cleaned and maintained and inspected annually. If you use it, make sure it's inspected annually. If you haven't used it, certainly make sure you get that inspected, make sure there's no animals that have grown to live in the area.
Okay.
And then again, only use clean, natural burning material. Some of those other fire logs and things we've seen out there to help with it, they will leave a lot of residue up in your chimney. And when that residue gets there and gets built up, that's how we get the chimney fires.
Okay. One of the most important things people can do around their home is, of course, to make sure their smoke detectors are working. Make sure they're in good working order. And I wanted to get your opinion on that as well.
Oh, for sure. So smoke detectors, they've advanced so much.
Sure.
And over the years now, they have a 10-year battery built into it. So we don't have to be changing the batteries biannually like we have done in the past.
Hmm.
However, if you have an older one, of course, change your batteries biannually.
Okay.
And think about updating to a newer one. Certainly have a carbon monoxide and one within your house somewhere.
Hmm.
And they do make those that are carbon monoxide / smoke detectors now. So you can get
Sure.
one for the price, two things for the price of one.
Sure.
A lot of the newer homes, they're wired together. So if one goes off in a bedroom, everybody hears it. And make sure that your family knows what to do in case those things go off.
Very good advice. Another very important point that I'd like to just mention quickly would be your laundry room, because your gas dryer or your electric dryer, any of the appliances in your laundry room, you do have to be kind of careful about making sure they are clean and working properly. I just want you to touch on that too.
Yes, yes. Lint is a major cause of fires in the dryer area.
Yes.
Now, you want to clean your lint trap every time you use your dryer. Open it up, take it out, regardless of what you see.
Okay.
And then at least annually, take a look around your dryer, clean
Okay.
behind it. Because sometimes if your vent in the back has a leak, you're going to get a buildup of lint behind the dryer. And make sure that area back there is clean. And you don't want to be using a surge protector or anything else behind extension cords. You want that outlet to be dedicated to those two machines and nothing in between.
Very good. What about the garage? We've got some things in the garage too that might be flammable or important to take care of, and watch what you store. So let's talk about that real quick.
For sure. A lot of time we'll find that our water heaters in the garage.
Yes.
And if there is a leak or something, what happens is that gas that would leak out would slowly sink to the floor and be at a ground level. That's why there are you'll notice some screens that are around the floor of your garage. Make sure those screens have accessible to the air, so that way the air exchange can happen. So if something does leak, the air can come in and out. If you do park your car in there,
Yes.
don't leave it running for any length of time. Certainly make sure that garage door is open and your door to inside of your house is closed to make sure it's well ventilated. And try not to store any kind of flammable liquids or heavy aerosols in that garage, just in case there is something that happens.
Okay.
You want to make sure they're away from your garage and your living space.
Okay. In closing, did you want to add anything that you feel is very important for our viewers to know more about?
There are so many important topics, and I just want our viewers to know and understand that we're here for you. And if you have any questions, you can certainly go to our website at vcfd.org and find out more details on everything we touched on today. as well as if you'd want to reach out and have a question to ask us, go to the contact form and you can reach directly out to us there at, again, vcft.org.
Thank you so very much. These are all such great tips and very helpful information for all of us to know more about and to stay safe in and around your home. So thank you, Ventura County Fire Captain Brian McGrath. We really appreciate your insight into staying safe in our homes. And thank all of you for joining us today on Our Ventura TV. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.